What's up, everybody? My name is AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock, and here's another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks the Week. Now, what we're going to be talking in this episode, we're going to talk about the newest Cardfight Vanguard episode, we're going to talk about the local results from Saturday, and we're going to talk about the future in terms of decks and plans for Team Gradelock. Now, first thing we're going to do, Cardfight Vanguard episode 130, pretty hype episode. If you haven't seen it yet, spoiler alert, I will be talking about this episode, so if you want, just pause or close the video, watch the episode, come back to the video, watch it, and then, you don't have to worry about me spoiling you at all. So, episode 130, Ren going up against Suiko in the reverse state. Totally a crazy battle. Everybody was just going out, and Suiko was just constantly taunting Ren no matter what. And sometimes, like, he kind of got a little bit scared, but especially with the Schwarzschild Dragon, because her build is the Schwarzschild Dragon Ride Chain along with the Infinite Zero Break Ride, which is the build that I was planning to use when Link Joker comes out. Now, in the battle, it's definitely good. Ren had his composure. He probably lost a little bit when Schwarzschild Dragon activated the Limit Break, but he bounced back just well. And he didn't even use that quality on top of that, so that just shows you how much of a badass Ren is. So as the fight went on, we already saw a good portion of what happens with the ride chain, especially when you ride the grade 2. It's a free lock on a rear guard. And I thought that was amazing because oh hey, lock if the ride chain goes through. And of course it's the improved ride chain in which that if you ride a grade 2 that's not part of the ride chain, you still get to check the deck for the top 5 or 7 cards, and if you find a grade 2, you just ride it on top of that, so you don't have to worry about messing it up. You won't get the lock, but at least if you want to make sure you have the grade 2 in the soul so that Schwarzschild becomes an 11k Vanguard. That's good enough though. And then when Ren, I thought that Ren held like composure when he was definitely in the locked final turn stage. Because in Schwarzschild Dragon, when she activated the limit break, I can understand why she would do that when Ren is only at 4 damage, because she can't lock it again. And if Ren did the drive check that he did after that, she probably would have been finished. But back to at least when she activated the limit break, she made a very good move that I should be taking note of as well. Is that when she activates Schwarzschild Dragon, she locks up to 3 rear guards, and Schwarzschild Dragon itself gains 10k and an extra critical. So the thing that you should take note of is that when you're running Schwarzschild or you're running like multiple locks per turn, the key things to take care of would be to lock the 2 front row rear guard circles and lock the rearguard circle behind the vanguard that's boosted. This is great because it limits the opponent from only attacking with the vanguard, and that vanguard will only be attacking for like 11k or 13k or 14k if they have like a counterblast 1 skill. And you know that people wouldn't waste it on that. And of course you want to make sure you can make it you can make it 2 to pass if you want, but they get double triggers. It kind of backfires on you. That's why if anything you want to just maybe perfect guarded unless you're not at 4 damage. So just a good thing to take note of. And then when everybody came back from lock, Suiko went all out, Ren guarded, and it was like, okay, Ren got this. And then Ren called final turn. I was like thinking, oh man, here it is, here we go. And so he rides Avenger Raging Form Dragon over Mordred. And Mordred's break ride skill is very interesting because all you have to do is that when you break ride and when you ride Revenger Raging Form Dragon, counterblast 1, get a grade 2 or lower Shadow Paladin, call it to a rear guard, or and that unit gets plus 5k until end of turn. That's pretty damn good for 1 counterblast. And thing is though, Shadow Paladins, the only counterblast that I know that they're using for would be for Blast Dark Revenger, for the Mordred Break Ride, and maybe any of the Counterblast 1 gain 3k or Counterblast 1 gain 1k for those units in the Revengers if they do have them. But anyways, it was pretty good. And plus when the Revenger Raging Form, he attacked from left to right, and then when the Vanguard hit, got the break ride, and then got Revenger Raging Form. Suiko was just laughing. I hated how she kept on like taunting throughout the entire match. I was thinking like, Ren, please put her to sleep already. And then so Ren, he activated the limit break, and then Suiko, she goes like, oh my god, what's going on? And so he stands again, and now and the good thing about Shadows, especially when you go up against the Link Joker, is that he already retired the column that already attacked and the booster behind it, because now his Vanguard's gonna get plus 10k, and so he's already swinging for a magic number or 11k break rides and stuff. So he's pretty good there. But what he also did that was very good against Link Joker is that he cleared his own field. That means that if she wanted to lock, she can't lock those three spots anymore. She has to lock the other rearguard circles. That's the downfall when it's locked. You have stuff like from Tachikaze to Great Nature to Grand Blue, Aqua, no, not Aqua Force, Shadow Paladins, all four, and Murakamo, I guess you want to count them. All five of those clans, they all have units where they can just appear on the field for the turn and then they go back into the deck or they get retired. So Grand Blue, yeah, you have the that promo for the Undead Dragon that kind of lasts one retire superior column, and at the end of the turn, boom, he goes back to the grave. Murakamo, Crow effect, get another Crow at the end, put that Crow on the bottom of the deck, and then you have you have Tachikaze, like the Raptor Colonel build where you just retire a column, and the guy swings for the combined attack total of both of the victims or the sacrifices. And then Shadows, pretty much, yeah, kill your own units, power up your own. You clear the field, you limit their lock capabilities, and it makes it very easier for you and frustrating for the Link Joker player. And then when he was doing that second drive check, he was so confident. He didn't lose composure at all. Check, drive check, blast the Dark Revenger, and then boom, you see that white glow, and Suiko is just like out of her mind right now, saying critical trigger, and it's like, okay, we're done, all right. She, like, finally she gets unreversed, and then Ren, even though he's a badass in the episode, he's actually quite the gentleman, catching Suiko before she falls to the ground, and actually taking off his school jacket so that she can rest her head on it. Now that's really nice though. That's really nice. I gotta give props to Ren. Ren is somebody you don't want to mess with, and he'll be a gentleman after the match, especially towards his teammates, especially towards women. Now, at the end of the episode, while Ren and now now that the unreversed Suiko is back to normal, they all get ready and say, okay, now he has to hunt down Tetsu and Asuka, which pretty much you're going to be seeing the Amon reverse and the Lecriere reverse, which I'm totally looking forward to. And then as they're in the elevator going up, meanwhile, back Card Capital, Aichi's still like, where is everybody? It's like, just still upset, kind of like, at least for, Kai not showing up the past couple days or week. And Morikawa is still trying to get on his chops, trying to say like, "Oh, you're still concerned you don't find Corn?" I was like, "Oh, well, Corn. I was told that she was very busy, so I completely understand." And Morikawa was like, "Oh, really? Well, at least you go to the same school as her because I don't. I always have to come back here after school and make sure if I can even see her again." Totally, I would probably be like that too if I had like an idol that was like in my friend's school. I'd probably be like that as well. All right, and then so flashback to Fukuhara High School. Uh, Now they go into Asuka's room, and Ren is just concerned about getting Asuka back, and I think Ren is gonna continue this winning streak until when he gets to Kai. I'm not sure what's gonna happen there, but maybe Aichi and the rest are probably gonna wise up and say, all right, we need to check up on something. We need to get him to realize that to go to Fukuhara High School and kind of like finish this whole Link Joker thing, because that the new intro to the Cardfight Vanguard season 3 is hype. I love it. It's definitely good now that like Link Joker is just starting to clean house right now, especially with Mount Duelist again. Oh, and also big shout out to Kyo for keeping his head straight and winning at least against some high school students in Cardfight Vanguard. Even wants to make me think like that guy might be a pretty good cosplay, because he wears like just like a sleeveless dress shirt with a tie and kind of like just dress shirt sleeves or whatever on both of his arms. And I thought that was actually pretty cool, so I was thinking maybe I should try that sometime in the future. But I would definitely have to either get my Mega Colony deck or a Spike Bros deck, which it probably shouldn't be hard to get either, but just for authenticity purposes. But I don't know, I thought he really stepped it up this episode. And pretty much for next week, I can't wait to see that fight. I want to see I want to see what's the strategy that Asuka uses. So maybe because I use a Pale Moon deck. I used to have Lequier in my deck, but now I just have the Barky Manicore because that's way better for the Beast Tamer arch sub archetype, if I may say. So I want to make sure I really look forward to that, and it's definitely going to be easy to just get that get the regular Lequier into the soul so that she can be a solid 13k. Now, pretty much we're done with the Card Fight Vanguard episode. If you have any favorite parts in that episode, or if you want to bring up anything that wasn't brought up, kind of like how either the subtitles got it wrong when Ren was saying, "I retire your rear guards," when you see that he's retiring his own, and when his grade one rear guard on the left was being locked, but yet a little bit later they showed that he was still unlocked. So there are a few errors in there, but both from the subtitles and both in the animation. But that's not a problem. Didn't really deteriorate from the quality of the episode, especially the fight between Reverse Suiko and Ren. So now let's get into the local results from Game On. Now the system that I actually brought up last week, that only goes for tag team tournaments, which I can understand why, because in tag team tournaments it's double elimination. So you lose twice, you're out of the tournament forever. So every win after your first, each player would get a booster pack, which is great. And then when you get into the top two teams, and you're like the only two teams up, then there's a remaining prize pool you can pick up from there. So that's absolutely great. I love it. And in the singles tournament, it's a regular what my local does. We do 4 rounds of Swiss, top four, and pretty much if you go 3-1, you have a good chance of topping, which is great. And then you go on to top four, and you either play or you split, which is what sometimes we do. Now I use Tsukiyomi. I have went 2-2. I lost against a Royal Paladin Alfred Beat that uses Wingull Brave. No MLB though, which is interesting. But I can definitely understand why he would go back to Alfred, because MLB by himself without Blaster Dark and Blaster Blade, he would only be a 10k Vanguard, and as a rear guard he would only be 10k as well. So it can be pretty hard, but there are some places that you can go up to consistency and make sure that you have you like activate that skill like every time you play a game. But at least the Alfred beat was very good. I kind of messed up somehow when I had to counterblast 2 to get that draw power in, because I was already at 4 damage in game 3, and I drew my 2 critical triggers, and I was thinking, yeah, I probably would have needed it. However, the guy was only at 2 damage. If I was at 3 damage, I would be more upset, but he was at 2, so I wasn't that upset about it. And then when I did my twin drive, double draw triggers, so I was like, alright, okay, so now I have a healthy hand to guard with. Well, I ended up still losing because I did 2 to pass for the Vanguard stuff, for the Vanguard attack, so that kind of depleted my hand. And plus, when they tried to eliminate Silent Tom, I had to guard for him as well, because I knew that he had a number of triggers in his hand, so he would be completely useless going against Silent Tom. The next was going up against Aquaforce, one of the Team Gradelock's own Ian. He was also featured in the Great Dayusha build of Dimension Police deck profile that I had uploaded yesterday. Now he was pretty good. He had the Glory Maelstrom build. I won the first game because of my stack. Second game I lost because I had to ride my main Vanguard as CEO Amaterasu, and so his Diamantes and Basil, they kept swinging for 10. I had to guard or else I take damage, so my hand was depleted by the time he would go for Glory Maelstrom. And I managed to guard quite a bit for grade zeros, I was thankful that with Tsukiyomi I was able to do that, but it just kind of caught up with me and I lost. And then the third round I went up against oh man, what was the other one? I know I went up against one of a friend who she played Neo Nectar. Yeah, she was playing Neo Nectar, Maiden of Showing Rose. It was alright. Like she was definitely like pushing for Hey Yo Pineapple, which I found was definitely amazing, because when it says Hey Yo Pineapple, he's not like if you have 4 more rear guards. It's that if you have like I think 3 or 4 more units, and that includes the Vanguard, he's an 11k attacker. That makes him completely awesome for that deck. He's kind of like the, well, she kind of calls him like the Silent Tom, because she knows I hated Hail Pineapple because he was hitting for some magic numbers as well. Uh, but I beat her, and then fourth round I played against Platinum Azel build for one of my friends, Alex, from the game on, and we had an intense like 3 games. It was crazy because he had Platinum Azel, and in game 3 I had to I was just crazy because he activated Platinum Azel's ultimate break twice on me, and I managed to guard. I got on one of the hits, I got a draw trigger, so that's why I managed to help cancel out the rest of the attacks, especially now that I had I had a lot of cards in hand when I used Tsukiyomi's skill. And then when he used it the second time, on, I think it was one of his last rear guards, I got a 6 damage heal trigger, which I was like thinking, oh man, this is for my stack. And that means next turn I'm gonna draw this critical trigger, and that's gonna be completely useless to me. So I don't know what to do. And then I ended up, attacking, and I beat him for game. I wish I recorded that match. It was a really epic match. And, just shout outs to Alex because damn, activating Platinum Azel twice in one game, it's crazy. I had to use up my whole hand, and I had to rely on my stack heal trigger in order to survive and beat him. But mad shout outs to you, man. Really, like, you brought it home, and just keep it up because he's been consistently topping. Like, now with Planet Azel, definitely making it work. Just kudos, man. Kudos. Uh, and then after that, I actually tried out, I actually realized something that I should do with my Tsukiyomi deck. Now, since we have cross rides and since they have, like, definitely more aggression, I was thinking of taking out two of the three CEO Amaterasu's I have in my Tsukiyomi deck right now, and replace them with Goddess of the Sun Amaterasu. Because on the bright side, at least I have a guaranteed 11k Vanguard. With CEO in the soul, automatically becomes 13, and her effect is pretty damn good. It may coincide with, yeah, it definitely may coincide with the Tsukiyomi stack, but I know that if my stack's all messed up, like I have no triggers whatsoever coming up for me, I wouldn't mind like on Vanguard hit just mess up the stack and just do it and then like start over because I'd rather have one guaranteed card that I would love to take from my deck and add to my hand than draw two cards and accidentally draw a trigger or something like that. So I'm definitely gonna try out that build, put in two Goddess of the Suns, and then when the extra booster for Oracle Think Tanks come out later, I think it's in September. I'm definitely gonna replace two of my Silent Toms with the two new Silent Toms from that set, the Korean art version where you see him with the mummified head, and he looks a lot more badass than his American and Japanese counterpart. So after that, I will be doing an updated, mastered Tsukiyomi deck profile in which that I will just say, all right, this is what's going on, this is what I want to do. And outside of those cards that I would add into Tsukiyomi deck, I would like to get maybe even just two of SP Full Goddess of the Moon's Goddess of the Full Moon Tsukiyomi. Because in that sense, if I have SP and then if I have one SP Goddess of the Sun Amaterasu and one Triple R, I'll be able to diversify the deck to the maximum potential, and I'll be able to say, okay, now I know what's gonna come up, and it's definitely gonna make it a hell of a lot easier for me to predict the stack, as well as knowing what card is gonna come up next, especially when I look, because when I drive check and I see that critical trigger, I was thinking like, well, I only have like one Nike and one one Ginger, uh yeah, Battle Sister Ginger. And so I know when I see that I got another critical trigger coming up or another draw trigger coming up next for double triggers, and I can break that, to the pass shield. Now in the future, I'm definitely gonna think about getting a set 9 box opening. Hopefully I'll be able to win one either in a tag tournament or if we have a box tournament on Saturday, because I want to make sure I can do that box opening for you. And then next up is going to be the next 2 weeks is going to be Bermuda's Dazzling Divas, the second extra booster solely focused around Bermuda Triangle, and I'm definitely going to pre-order at least 3 to 4 boxes of that because I want a Prism Labrador Awesomeness Break Ride build. I already got like a build already like set out in my notebook somewhere, and I'm so ready and so hyped for that moment to come up. Uh, I I think after that though, I'm definitely gonna pick up Link Joker. I'm definitely gonna pick up like maybe 2 trial decks and then get the other 2 break rides because I noticed that the Infinite Zero break ride dragon, he's only in the trial deck. So I find like, alright, so they have exclusive trial deck cards that are extremely useful, and it's not just a hollow too. They also have the 9k on Vanguard hit lock an opponent's rear guard, which is amazing because you don't have to worry about counter blast, no soul blasting, whatever. Just hit the Vanguard and then boom, you lock somebody. And then so that opponent has to guard or lose out on one of the rear guards for turn. It's awesome. I love how the trial deck turned out. Definitely gonna pick up at least 2 trial decks and definitely gonna make Link Joker after Bermuda's a complete. Alrighty, and then if you guys have any suggestions for any other Vanguards topics you want to talk about, whether it's like the local scene, getting more members on a team, or actually the ranking system that we have on Team Gradelock right now, just post in the comments below, and next week I'll be sure to go over the next system, the next change of events for you guys. Alrighty. Well, that's it for me. My name is AlphonZeus, Team Gradelock. I will see you guys next week. Take care.